Hey guys, it is Ben, aka the Fuse Box. It is now time for part 2 of our Metal Gear Solid excursion. Before I get started though, I would like to say that we are a little less than a month away from the launch of Outlaw Knights Genesis of a Renegade Part 2. If you haven't already, click on the link in the description of this here video, and it will take you to the email list sign up. Sign up on that email list because you're going to get access to exclusive perks that you're not going to be able to get on the main campaign. So you might want to consider that. Just might. So I'm once again operating with kind of faulty audio for reasons that are completely insane to me. I can't get any audio to come out of my computer for the PlayStation. I'm doing everything I can with the hookup, and it's not cooperating with me, and I have no idea why. Ever since I tried to do it with StreamYard, the computer is just refusing to put out the audio for the share play. So I'm forced to crank up the volume really loud on my TV. So that's why it might sound a tiny bit muffled. But in any event, it is time to embark on our mission of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. When last we left off on our journey, we played through the last level, which is the first level recontextualized with information that is meant to be kind of a surprise. But I figured like it would be kind of fun to instead just play the game in context of knowing the big surprise, which is that your main character is not the actual big boss that we all know. He is technically a big boss if you think about it, but he's a body double. And as a result of that, basically he has been hypnotherapied into believing he is the real big boss. And so far the main guy who knew about it at first was Ocelot, and after the credits, Ocelot has a conversation with Miller about it, and Miller is really put off, and I would say he is quite justified in being put off because I think he views Big Boss using his friend as a body double as just an act of complete cowardice and shame. And I wouldn't disagree with him on that. I think if somebody saves your life from a bomb, it's disrespectful to proceed to give them harmful invasive surgery and paint a target on their back for all the international agencies and governments of the world to try to kill you. That's just a little something I would say, you know, like I think it's pretty cowardly, but apparently our boy Venom Snake has no problem with it in the end. So go figure. But I figure we will start off with a couple of audio tapes that explain kind of what happens next. Ocelot gets our boy Venom Snake out of that predicament after being crushed by the ambulance. Everybody miraculously survives with minimal injuries. And we've got Ocelot's briefing.
When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked.
once they finish sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict. Can you stand? We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border. We'll travel to the Khyber Pass by road. And then we continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons, then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter-strategy. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It'll be a tough march. Better horses than boats. Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of...
We don't need that.
Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You formed a private army with him. An army with no allegiance to a nation. I remember, but... I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now. But this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The mother base, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cyprus' private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cyprus as bait. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Mother Base. At the same time, C4 they placed on the strut legs went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs followed by a big FU. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Mother Base no one suspected. You remember a certain scientist? Huey was responsible for bringing the inspection team on board, giving the enemy a perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Mother Base came damn close to taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Mother Base. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to die that day. That was XOF's primary objective. As far as most folks know, you did. The first doctor to see you wasn't even sure what he was looking at. Before they'd even finished operating, your men moved you to that hospital in Cyprus. There was a woman named Eva who arranged that. Rings a bell, huh? Most men in your condition would have been written off right from the start. But you survived. You went straight down to hell, and they pulled you out. Your eye wide open. Full of venom. The days of naked snake are long gone. Welcome back, Venom Snake. This world still needs you. Here, Snake, try this on. A prosthetic arm. Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm that wasn't there. The physiotherapy's going well. Your arm's bulked up enough for it to fit. There. Perfect. A little time with it, and it'll work better than the real thing. What do you think? I can still feel my real arm. You better get used to this one quick. You have any pain? Every now and then. Where? My fingertips. My left fingertips. Sounds like phantom pain. Your brain still remembers your old hand. Yeah. What about your vision? Can you see okay? Yeah, at the moment. Yeah, the shrapnel in your skull is pressing on your optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex. Yeah, the doctor mentioned that. Your brain might process visual information incorrectly. In other words, you could have hallucinations. You might see things that aren't there, and not see things as they really are. You experience any of that? I think so. When? Right after I wake up. Colors look faded. Colors, huh? Well, that's not a major concern in and of itself, but it could mean the difference between life and death in the field. You'll need to watch out for that. I will. All right. You should continue your physio. We'll be arriving soon. It's the last chance you'll get.
So now, we are caught up for the most part. I am not going to play the audio tapes of Big Boss conspiring with Ocelot about the whole body double thing. I figure I'll save that probably for like the last videos and stuff. Just to kind of, give everything, have everything kind of come full circle. Plus, I don't want to bore you to death.
Please select a mission.
I'm sure I'm probably boring you already, but I really love the story of Metal Gear Solid, and I feel like it would be awful to leave out parts of it. Especially since I'm not starting a new game, we're gonna miss some cutscenes. They're not what I would call super important cutscenes, but they're fun. Most of the important cutscenes are included with each mission, so that's not really an issue. You can pretty much get the whole story. And Kojima loves to toot his own horn, so it's probably good to kind of get the bare bones.
Boss, your mission is to rescue the target Kazuhira Miller, the man you called your partner 9 years ago. Miller was training guerrilla rebels near the Pakistani border when he was captured by the Soviets. He's currently being held at Dawandehar. Rescue Miller from the Soviet troops and extract him by chopper. It's time to prove to the world you're the real Big Boss.
So basically, Miller has been captured, and he is going to be traded off, unless we can get in there and save him. We are going in there without lethal weapons, everybody. This is a stealth mission. This is Metal Gear Solid, damn it. I don't care about Raiden. In the name of Outer Heaven and Diamond Dogs, let us go forth. Now I'm gonna have to put the mic down in a sec. In order to do this, I'll try to lean in as close to the mic as I can so that you don't miss a second of my scintillating commentary. It's so necessary.
control. Miller's been captive for 10 days. Not much time left.
Weather will clear shortly.
Storm's passing. Getting used to it? After 9 years on ice, solo infiltration of the Soviet main ground forces. Should be the perfect one. Kazuhira Miller is being held at Dawandehar to the north. Check its location now. Take out your iDrone. You see Wandy on the map? That's where they're keeping Miller. Only problem is we don't know his exact location. Finding it is your first priority. Got your binoculars? Or should I say your in-scope? See the village? Straight ahead? Alright, that's the village. If you see something through the binoculars and you need more information, just give me a call. I'll tell you anything I can about it. That's Violo Village, the Violo Calais. The villagers fled the war and evacuated a while back. Since then, it's become a base for the Soviets' 40th Army. A few days ago, Miller was taken through there, en route towards Dawandehar. You may be able to pick up the trail there. It's worth a shot. Put a marker on it so you don't lose track of where it is. Wrong target, boss. Use your binoculars to focus in on Davialo Calais village and mark it.
I just did.
Market
Wrong target,
place.
boss. Use your binoculars to focus in on Davialo
It's
Calais
right
village
freaking
and mark
there.
it. Wrong
Market
target,
place.
boss. Use your binoculars to focus in on Davialo Calais village and mark it.
Market
Good.
place.
Now you won't have to worry about getting lost along the way. You can't have much left in him. I give him 3 days tops. If we fail, and he dies, we lose our chance of revenge. But we need more intel. You just go charging into Dawandehar, you'll be putting both your lives at risk. See what you can find out first. The Soviets have other outposts, not just the one you saw. Afghanistan is a big place. I expect you'll become quite familiar with those binoculars as you plan your next move. How and where you make it, well, that's up to you. From here on out, you're on your own. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. That's why you have to handle this mission yourself. Put those 9 years behind you, and return as the big boss. That's our cost for one. I'll be sending additional intel by radio. Stay sharp. Not one of Miller's bodyguards survived. And they were good. All we found on the scene were their corpses and knees. They'll be missing them. And you're his only hope of getting them back. Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
Kojima's so humble.
practice in those ruins. Shooting, taking cover, climbing obstacles. See to it that 9-year gap doesn't slow you down. Even the sheerest cliffs are climbable with their cracks you can use as handholds. You might even find some unexpected routes that way. Keep an eye out for cracks on your travels.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Hold it. There's a Soviet guard post. There are bound to be guards. Take a look with your binoculars. Put the enemy in the center of your field of view. You're almost at the enemy outpost, Vilo Village. The village is crawling with enemy soldiers. Don't just go waltzing in. Start with some recon. Is there anywhere that overlooks the village?
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
I probably could have ridden my freaking horse up to this point, but I don't know. I really wanted to get in stealthy real
How
quick.
about it? Can you see the village from there? Use the binoculars to recon the place.
Forgot to lay down traps. We're part of a wildlife rescue effort. Because we're so damn we're saintly over at Mother Base.
Look at where the enemies are stationed. Look at their gear. Take it all in. There should be a command post somewhere. See any buildings with tighter security? If there are clues to Miller's whereabouts, I'll bet you can find them in there.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Don't leave bodies out in the open. Find some place to drop them out of sight. find in there. Those materials are already processed. They can come in handy sooner or later. Why not start gathering them?
That's fancy.
So you picked up an intel file. Now we know what Miller is. I'm marking it on your iDroid.
The map has been updated.
Fuck. Ominous music does not help.
Planning to walk the whole wilderness on foot? Use your horse.
Thanks, asshole. Big stealthy ocelot. Not all of us are gun-twirling showboats.
Anytime you need advice, just give me a call.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Sun's getting real low.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
It's 18 o'clock.
You've reached one day. They've got Miller locked up in that town.
Detected.
Check your eyes
The
road
map
for his
has been
location.
updated.
I hope to hell he's alright. He's not your average client.
Analysis complete. Some will set shortly. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Brought the wrong rifle, damn it. Landmine.
That's a type of medicinal plant. Bring it back to base.
Analysis
Sure to
complete.
be useful sometime.
Analysis complete. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Ты слышал истории человека с наших ребят? Что? Я слышу, что его прислали американские террористы в поддержку. Вот ты слышишь? Сказано, что он планировал удержать
Fuck!
Analysis complete.
Damn it, my score is gonna be lower.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Oh shit. Come on. Fuck. I'm fucking up
That's the
all
building,
over.
boss. That's where they're holding Miller.
I fucked up so bad.
God.
use for me, huh? Kaz, it's me. I'm here to get you out. Snake. They do something to your eyes. No, it's just bright as all.
Arrived at Multibase.
You've secured the target. I'll send a chopper to get you out. Make your way to the RV. You can check the location on your iDroid.
Collision info has been updated.
Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
Yeah, keep talking.
Anymore, right?
We're in enemy territory. By all means, let's have a fucking conversation.
Support helicopter has arrived.
Watch out. It's the skulls. Don't let them find us. Boss, whatever that mist is, it's all around you. We can't see through it. I'm changing the RV so it's outside the mist. Get over there. The chopper will be waiting.
Stupid horse.
That's Miller. You can't just leave him there.
Yes, I can. I can do whatever the hell I want, Ocelot. And now we play the waiting game. The key to slip by the missed unit of the skulls in this part. Let these guys, like, they kind of, even though they don't see you, they kind of track you in a weird way, like, you know, the game does. It tracks whatever direction it thinks you're going in. So you stay here for a minute, let them get on the bridge. And as they're starting to come across the bridge, slip along the side and kind of sneak your way past, and then once you're a good distance away, you call the horse. takes a little bit of patience. You can fight him if you want, but like you get a better score if you manage to sneak by him. Not bad. I usually get rank S though, but it's because those two dudes saw me and I had to use reflex that I lost a little bit of points. But other than that, no enemy combat alerts, no retries, no kills, and yeah, we managed to sneak on by.
Seychelles. That's where our new home is now. Hey. That was some operation we had, huh? 9 years ago. Carving out our own world. Making our own future. And they took it away. I'm gonna rebuild it. Make a new place. Together. That we can call home. Yeah, we were dogs, all right. Slinking around, out of sight for sight. Picking up whatever kind of dirty money we could find. You name it. We did it. You see this? Diamond Dogs. Our new home. A phantom of our former selves. Triumph. Death. We weren't allowed either. Yeah. I remember it all.
Any minute now. What do you remember, Miller?
It all ends soon, exactly as I planned.
Give my regards to your boss when you get home.
It's always longer to load when it's doing this. So yeah, we saved Miller. And since we don't have the cut scene to show, you know, we bring him back to Mother Base. So might as well
A landing zone.
show you Mother Base. You get to name. I mean, it's Diamond Dogs, but you get to name your outpost, and I thought it was only appropriate given the context of the story that I call it Outer Heaven. Oh lordy. I might have to do this again on a new playthrough just so everybody can kind of experience it firsthand, but I mean, this game's been out for a while, so I mean, you know. gonna take a shower.
Team with me, boss. How about it?
Roger.
Mother base. Love that song. She blinded me with science. She blinded me with science.
The unit that attacked us in the mist. You knew something about them. That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was captured by the Soviets. We were on the zero line that day. The Afghan side. On our way back from training Mujahideen at a mountain camp in Kunar province. There's a lot of that work in Afghanistan. Most PFs shy away from it because it draws too much attention. But for us, that was the whole point. The job itself went great. We just had to make it back to a tribal area in Pakistan. But all of a sudden, visibility got real bad. It was no sandstorm. Our point man gave the strange report. He said he could see skulls in the mist. Skulls? The next moment he went silent. We scrambled into formation, right before his arms and legs came raining down on us. It was always supposed to be a dangerous mission, so I had Diamond Dog's very best with me. We were calling out to each other. But one by one, the voices just went dead. Whatever happened to me, I lost consciousness before I knew it. When I came to, I was in a Soviet camp, tied to an interrogation chair. Could there be some new Spetsnaz unit? No. The ones that interrogated me were just the average rank and file. Whatever group attacked us, the way they moved was just insane. And that mist, appearing out of nowhere. The Soviets don't have tech like that. If they did, OUTLAW would have heard about it. I doubt the West does either. Otherwise the folks at Langley would be sleeping a lot easier. Why'd they come after you? Wish I knew. I'm the only one who survived. Though I don't think they planned it that way. If I was their target, they wouldn't have just handed me over to the 40th Army. Whatever the case, we need to watch our step until we know who they really are. And boss, if you ever do run into them again, don't try to take them on. You just get the hell out of there. When I first started dealing with Zero, with Cypher, it was a somewhat parasitic relationship, though a mutually beneficial one. Cypher had no army of their own, so they wanted us. They wanted our strength. They approached me as a potential business partner, but they had other motives. Cypher coaxed us into Central America, into that US-Soviet proxy war, to fuel Mother Base's growth. Once we were big enough, they'd force us to join them. That was the plan. That's why they had Paz still Zeke. Right. And if we refused, she would use Zeke to fire a nuke from Mother Base. The world would consider us a liability, and countries would unite to destroy us. We stopped the launch. And yet they still took us down. Through that fake inspection they orchestrated to cover up their sabotage. That power Cypher wanted. We don't have it anymore. So why are they still after you? Is it just the fear of leaving you alive?
I don't know. Was Zero really... All I know is the man I knew wouldn't want this.
What do you mean?
We have to consider that it might not be Zero we're dealing with.
We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want, or even who they really are. The new mother base started out as a test drilling rig operated by a mineral resources supplier, but their project fell through. The Seychelles government was happy to hand the place over to us. It was just scrap on stilts. So with a few dummy construction companies set up as fronts, we started renovating the half-finished rig. From the outside, it looked like the project was back on rails.
Kaz, you...
What?
I see what you're doing. Recreating the mother base we had 9 years ago. Only this time.
That's right. The mother base Cypher thought they destroyed will return from the grave to kill them. We'll prove to the world that we were the victors.
And if we lose again?
They can't fool us the same way twice. Now our enemies are in plain sight. But when our organization gets too big, we split it across companies. Any company that draws attention gets liquidated, and its capital is back-channeled into a new company. Most PFs are small-time operations anyway. And in this business, the minnows go bankrupt all the time. We've never aroused suspicion. Plus, we have Hewick.
Hewick?
Human Exploitation Company. It's a business specializing in intel gathering. Think of it as a civilian intelligence agency.
Kaz, that's...
Remember what they were trying to accomplish at the prison facility in Cuba? That gave me the idea. We dispatch moles into conflict zones around the world, and each sets up an intel network on site. Then they stay in place to give us stable points of contact when other nations intervene in the conflicts. Hewick's strength is that it has a cutout at each level. You get your job from one guy, then you hand it off to another. No one has direct access. It's a perfect black box. Hewick members also work their way into the superpowers intelligence agencies to make sure Diamond Dogs gets work. We have those countries by the balls. That's our deterrent when we need it.
Networking? In the intelligence community?
Sure, that's how we've grown this far. And when you go out on missions, intel from Hewick will be there to back you up. But despite all that, Cypher has its eyes on us. The only reason I'm not dead is that they needed to know where you were. Figured if you woke up, I'd go straight to you.
That's why you made that ruckus at the Zero line.
Yeah, to make their own surveillance work against them. I think it took some of the heat off Cyprus.
Kaz.
Then I just had to wait for you to save me. And I've gotten used to waiting.
Kaz.
That's not all. It was a good chance to scout the market. And with the West wanting the Soviets out of Afghanistan, their agencies are bursting at the seams with funding. Boss, let's start by building up our Afghan presence.
Why put Mother Base in the Seychelles?
We're at the center of the world here.
We're all the way out in the Indian Ocean.
Come on. Lebanon, Sri Lanka, East Timor, and Africa. From here, our reach extends to conflict zones the world over, including Afghanistan, of course.
So it's prime real estate for a mercenary.
Exactly. Latin America isn't as close as I'd like, but we have Amanda and her people to help in that department. And besides, the Seychelles government owes us a favor.
Owes us?
The Seychelles has strong ties to the east, which the West wanted to shake up. It came to a head 3 years ago in an attempted coup. It was a force of South African mercenaries with U.S. backing behind the scenes. They were only platoon size, but South Africa is home to some heavy PFs, too much for the Seychelles to handle. In the end, they accepted help from the Tanzanian army and quelled the coup. We set up the deal and handled on-site tactical instruction. That led to some training work for the Seychelles military. And when we put down a mutiny within their forces, well, we made a lot of people happy. They don't pay us. They just let us have a piece of their offshore territory on the promise we'll come running if something else happens.
So we're bodyguards, too.
It's a good setup. We can only take Mother Base so far here. We'll have to find somewhere else when this place starts getting big.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Nothing hasty about it. You're back with us now.
So, Kaz, the ship that took us from Cyprus, it used to be a whaler.
Yeah, a Japanese vessel. How was the voyage?
It was... skimmy.
years ago. Her displacement isn't anything to write home about, but she can really move. She still had plenty of life left in her.
We don't need to hear
then the
all
war
of
dried
that.
out. Global opposition to whaling has been mounting for years. Guys, what about the unit that attacked us in the mist? You knew something about them.
Damn it.
That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was... OUTLAW said the number of private forces is increasing, and they modeled themselves after us. They're a far cry from the likes of us. But why? 9 years ago we made enemies of the world as a nuclear-equipped force, independent of ideology or state. Yes. Sooner or later the real UN would have stepped in. So why are they giving these PFs free rein? That's our fault too. What do you mean? What happened 9 years ago was a real problem for a lot of people. An organization as big as ours, with our facilities, was wiped off the map. Not an easy thing to hide. But if our existence came to light, so would the names of our clients. We had contracts all over, east and west, from superpowers to banana republics, the lot. Our clients denied all association with the likes of us. They had to make sure things didn't blow up on them. But at the same time, they missed us. They really missed us. The demand for armies for hire was as strong as ever. The international community turned a blind eye to what happened to us, despite still needing people who could do our jobs. History couldn't afford to lose us. As soon as we were gone, they needed a replacement. So private forces spread everywhere. And they're all just a phone call away. But still, I know. PFs are totally different from what we envisioned. Nation states, revolutionaries, terrorists, they have a lot of clients, and Cypher is one of them. Cypher stays anonymous, but I know their work when I see it. In the eyes of those clients, the world's PFs are all just expendable pawns. The clients don't have to worry about losing their own men. Nobody knows they're involved, and PFs are cheap. In short, the world is chewing up soldiers and spitting them out. Even some of the old Mother Base's survivors are still working for PFs. Some guys created their own smaller forces. Others were taken on by emerging PFs. Everybody's gone their separate ways. But none of them are living their dream, because they're not fighting with you. Of course, I tried to headhunt as many of them as I could for Diamond Dogs. It was all a waste of time. They said they weren't interested without you to lead them, but now you're back. And everything's gonna change. We'll unite all private forces under you, transcending nations and economies. What is a nation? Just a patch of dirt. The bonds among us will surpass nations, and that's what'll put the world under our control. We'll establish a new kind of country, redefine the very concept of it. Even Cypher will be below us, an extraterritorial federation of military nations, the United States of Force. Once word of Big Boss's return starts traveling, that'll be our true deterrent against Cypher. In other words, no one will dare to come gunning for you. How do you figure? Cypher lacks a large-scale fighting force. PFs are the perfect tool for them. But those PFs revere you, the legendary Big Boss. If Cypher killed you now, they wouldn't take it lying down. Maybe they'd even go looking for revenge, but they definitely wouldn't keep doing Cypher's dirty work, even if it put their lives at stake. That's why it's no longer a benefit to Cypher to get rid of you. The very fact that you're alive is our greatest defense against Cypher. Nice to know. It'll buy us some time while we get back to full strength. Just keep in mind that what I'm saying is generalizing a lot. In practice, the PFs around the world don't know your face. Just declaring that you're Big Boss won't be enough to convince them. And if they see you as an enemy, they'll come at you with everything they've got. Some hero. That's why you need to bring them back to Mother Base. Show them on your terms that you really are the one and only Big Boss. Once you've proven that, they won't hesitate to join us.
There you have it. Gonna fight Cypher by becoming a new type of nation. And yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, we're not there yet. So, we have rescued Kazuhira Miller, And as a result, we have established Mother Base, although it was already established, but for the sake of the storyline, you know, it's been reestablished. And it's relatively new, quote unquote. And yeah, we got a little bit of the backstory of what happened in the last couple of games with Big Boss, where they established the military Sun frontier, got betrayed because Cypher did a fake nuclear arms inspection, and they ended up attaching C4 to the struts and blowing the shit out of the Mother Base. And so as a result, now it's been 9 years, and our boys want a little payback, and they're gonna get it. Doggone it. So yeah, I think that is a good stopping place for today. I appreciate it if you've made it this far in. I'm a nerd. I really like the lore. I really like listening to the story, especially since I've always been amazed at how complex Metal Gear's storyline is. Kojima really goes through the concept of, you know, global politics, as well as like establishing alternate history. Like, it fits in with historical events going on. This game's taken place during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan during the early 80s. So, you know, we got a lot of fun historical context, plus some fake history going on with everything going on with the private military forces that are all inspired from the legend of Big Boss. So good stuff. Next time around, we're going to start some of the, I guess, the missions that aren't super story oriented. They're mostly just like, oh, these are the jobs we have to do to start rebuilding. So I'll probably do a couple of those in one sitting. I might even get to the next story beat. I'm not super sure. So yeah. Ugh, forgive me. But yeah. So if you like anything I had to say, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Hell, if you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit the dislike button, for Pete's sake. Share this channel out with your friends. Anybody you think is into super nerddom. I really want to build this channel up. I want to grow some more. I've been trying. I'm up against it with this algorithm on YouTube. So any and all exposure is a blessing. And hopefully this Thursday we are going to have Chrissy Meyer on, and I'm going to be interviewing her. There's some things I want to find out, really. And yeah. Oh, and just to reiterate, click on the link in the description of this video. Sign up for Outlaw Nights. We are launching this baby on the night of Halloween going into November 1st. Gonna have a big old launch stream for it. So get on the email list while there is still time. Because once this puppy launches, email list is gonna be in use. We're not gonna be able to add to it. So get on it. And thank you so much for joining me again, ladies and gentlemen. And I will talk to you all later.